Hello and howdy there, folks. A couple days ago, I saw the new Steven Soderbergh picture, Side Effects, and I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 7. You know, I think it's quality entertainment, a good trip to the movies at least. This is Steven Soderbergh's last film, or so he says. Now, I thought Steven Soderbergh has been on his last film for like his last 3 films. I keep getting that confused, but apparently this is his swan song, his last go around. Now, I don't know if I believe that, or maybe I don't want to believe it, but I just don't see how one of our most prominent directors can basically walk away at the top of his game. You know, if it's not the top of his game, it's, you know, he's at least in peak physical health. You know, he has his youth still. Perhaps that's why he wants to back away a little bit, maybe focus on his family, and stop working so damn much. But I just highly doubt that he can stay gone forever. But if he does, then he's left a magnificent career behind him. This is a good movie. For me, he's been coasting. I think his last 4 films, for me, I've all given them the same rating. And if I'm not mistaken, his last 4 films were Contagion, and then Haywire, and then Magic Mike, and now Side Effects. I may have got that order mixed up. Maybe Haywire came first and then Contagion, but I'm pretty sure I got it right. I'd say all 4 of those films I would give a 7. You know, he's coasting. He makes quality entertainment. He doesn't make, outstanding work, but he doesn't make, less than quality, less than good. He knows what he's doing, basically. He's like, a machine. He just churns these 7s out. And I guess that's why I just can't believe he'll walk away from it. Just how, he's a quality filmmaker who doesn't really make bad movies. And, he's leaving that. I don't know. So, yeah, he just is coasting for me. He makes quality films, and this is a quality film. I think I enjoyed it more than Magic Mike, I think. It definitely took more chances than Magic Mike did. I was really impressed with Magic Mike up until, like, the last 10 minutes, and then I thought it just copped out big time. And I really want to watch Haywire again, because I believe I gave it a 7 after seeing it in the theater. I haven't seen it since, but, leading up to Side Effects, all the reviews I read or perused all mentioned Haywire and how it's not a good movie. I don't agree with that at all, so I really want to watch Haywire again to see if I was somehow fooled. But I enjoyed this. I would say I enjoyed this more than Contagion. I enjoyed this more than Magic Mike. But I don't know if I enjoyed it more than Haywire. I really remember enjoying Haywire. So I'll just, put it equal with that. Side Effects is about depression. It's about depression. That's kind of what made me think more about anything with Steven Soderbergh and his career and his leaving behind, because this film is all about depression and not being secure with your lot in life and wanting something more, wanting something better. And is there something more? Shouldn't you be grateful for what you have? So I kept on thinking, is Steven Soderbergh depressed? Does he want to, try something new? I just kind of worried about Steven Soderbergh's mental state after watching this film, because it's about a poor mental state. So you have a young lady. She's depressed. This young lady's played by Rooney Mara, the girl with the dragon tattoo, the remake, the second girl with the dragon tattoo, also from Social Network. She hasn't done much, but she's really talented. Her eyes, are very expressive. She's very beautiful. She's good. She's good. So you got Rooney Mara. She is very depressed. Her husband, Channing Tatum, has come out of prison. Is trying to restart his life, and he comes out of prison to find that his wife is incredibly depressed, and can't get out of bed, can't think straight, depressed. So they consult a psychiatrist, and that psychiatrist is Jude Law. Jude Law prescribes a experimental medication, and this experimental medication has adverse side effects on Rooney Mara, and she kills her husband, Channing Tatum. And then the investigation into what happened unfolds. That's what the movie is about. That's where all the twists and turns happen. This is not your, standard big pharmaceutical is the bad guy movie. Lots of twists, lots of turns. This is kind of a old school romantic thriller with some modern day twists thrown in. As it turns out, what happens is it's kind of a story as old as time, but it is told in a new and modern way with a very fresh backdrop, being psychiatric drugs. Thank you, mouth. The psychiatrist is played by Jude Law, and that's one thing that I really enjoyed about this picture. Are two of the actors it used, and that's Jude Law. I really like Jude Law. I think he's a very talented actor. I don't think that he works as much as he should. He carries this picture. He is the central figure. I would put him at certainly more of the lead than Rooney Mara, the wife character. I think this is Jude Law's picture. I think Jude Law is a great actor. And it was good to see him back in action. Again, he's pretty much in almost every scene. He carries this film, and I think he can do it. I think he gave a great performance, one of his best performances I've seen, in a long time, and I think that's kind of by default, because it's like I can't remember a big Jude Law performance. I can remember him in Contagion, but I definitely thought that was more of an ensemble piece. And then the Sherlock Holmes movies, but those are blockbusters, and, he certainly takes a back seat to Downey Jr. in that. So, again, it just felt like I hadn't seen Jude Law in a long time, and he's back in full effect here, and he's really good. Also, Catherine Zeta-Jones. I don't really see Catherine Zeta-Jones work much anymore. She plays the original psychiatrist who first diagnosed Rooney Mara with problems soon after her husband would go to jail or prison. Catherine Zeta-Jones is in this. She's beautiful. She's always been beautiful. She's a good actress. I think she simmers very well. I think she plays people with secrets very well. And she has big secrets in this film. And I think, again, I think she does that very well. And again, she's beautiful and, aging so gracefully. Still just hot as all hell. Some other actors in this movie. let's see. I got Rooney Mara, got Channing Tatum, got Catherine Zeta-Jones, got Jude Law. Who else is in there? There was a couple other faces. I think her name is Ann Dowd. She just made a fantastic impression with Compliance, the movie about... I can't even begin to talk about Compliance. The movie is Compliance. She plays the restaurant manager in Compliance. She's in here. She's very good. All the acting, very good. Soderbergh, he's great. He's an American giant, I think. As soon as a Soderbergh film starts, you're watching a Soderbergh film. He just has this visual style, this vision that is unlike most other directors. I mean, people impersonate Soderbergh, but somehow they fall short. I think he is as visually unique as Tim Burton, in that realm. You just know immediately you're watching a Soderbergh picture. Here it's, again, kind of that like pastel and soft focus. Everything is kind of soft, which is misleading because the characters are so hard. I think that's one of the great contrasts. His films are so beautiful, and well shot and gorgeously lit. And it's misleading because usually the characters he's portraying are anything but those things. They're dark and they're hard, and they're not beautiful people doing beautiful things, but yet he makes them look that way. There's a lot of interesting focus work here. That I was like trying to figure out how it was done. I don't see how it could be a practical in-camera effect. I mean, maybe it is, if anyone could do it, I'm sure he could figure it out. But it seemed that there were a lot of scenes where only one thing was in focus. And it's usually the character talking. And everything else is kind of out of focus. And I mean everything. It's not like everything that is even with the, that visual plane of the actor is in focus, and everything behind it is out of focus. It's like the actor is in focus, everything behind the actor is out of focus, everything in front of the actor is out of focus. Basically, everything is out of focus except for the actor. And it was an uneasy effect. I was trying to figure it out, like, in the moment. It again, just had a very eerie effect, and I thought was very telling how I thought that's what the characters were like. They see the world, in a out of focus way. They're just out of sync with the natural world. So they are in their own little bubble, and everything that they see is out of focus. So everything that we see is out of focus. At least that's kind of what I thought. But it is absolutely gorgeous, just the use of color, and the use of sound. Soderbergh, I think that's one of also his great manipulative tools, is his use of sound. Again, it's like things don't like happen in the real world normally in this picture. I don't know. I'm just kind of now thinking about it, but the use of sound was odd, and I think it always is with the Soderbergh picture, at least a little bit. But here it kind of, I noticed it more. I guess what I didn't like, or why I'm not giving it a higher score than a 7, is that not long, but it's an hour and 40-minute film. It felt like an hour and 40 minutes. definitely stuck with the story, and when some of the twists and the turns start to happen and the story starts to unravel and reveal itself, I definitely get a lot more interested, but it's a very methodical pace. So you definitely get wrapped up in it, but it takes its sweet time. Also, it's slightly outlandish. I don't let, things that might as well be science fiction, get in my way too much of a story. But things happen here where it's like, what? Like, how? How is that even remotely possible? And they don't really take the time to explain it. But in the moment, you don't mind it. And that's kind of where Soderbergh comes into effect. That's him. I read a great little blurb on one of the websites I go to that, that's Soderbergh's true power, or that's the true power of a great director, is to take something that's totally outlandish and that could never happen and make it seem perfectly natural. And you're like, oh, well, of course that's going to happen. When, in hindsight, as you think about it, you're like, what? No. But in the moment, you're like there and with it. And like, okay, I'll accept this. It's only in hindsight where you think about the film where it's like, huh? Well, I don't know about that. That doesn't seem right. That would never happen. But again, in the moment, it, you're there with it. So I think that's, talented. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I enjoyed it. I highly doubt it's Soderbergh's last film, though he says it will be. If it is, I'd say with that, 4 sevens in a row for my taste, I'd say that's a pretty good capper to a career. And he gave me The Limey. The Limey is one of my favorite films of all time. I think that is his best work. That's why I've committed myself to seeing Soderbergh films, is because he made The Limey and felt like a present to me. So, yeah, I mean, Soderbergh's a giant. And he will be missed, supposedly. Okay, so that's Side Effects. It's a good picture. I had a fine time at the theater, and I give it a solid 7. Thank you very much.